We'll get started here with Houston Dash head coach Fabrice Gautrat. We'll start with the folks here in person, and then we'll go to Zoom. I'll go ahead and kick things off. Fabrice, we'll just start with opening remarks following today's match here against the Washington Spirit.
I think obviously a little bit frustrating. I think in the first half lacked a little bit of belief into who we can be and who we are, and you could see there was a little bit of hesitancy. It wasn't tactics, it wasn't game plan, just more belief, and you saw a little more in the second half as we talked about that, and you saw a very different team come out. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing for us is to have more of that, to play with more conviction. So yeah, but overall, like I said, is look, if you look at the whole game, first NWSL game, trying to play a certain way, I think there's a lot of positives to take. That's obviously one of the best teams in the league. So for us to play that way and so dominant in the second half, I think is a lot of positives to take. But as we all know, it takes two halves to win in this league, and so what happened in the first half to me is unacceptable.
Here with Manny.
Yeah, I want to hop on second that on the first half and into this transition second half. What would you say on the locker room to get that performance out of the second half? Is something you said or something you tweaked that maybe helped the performance in the second half?
Staff coach brought up a couple clips for us to look at in terms of spaces to exploit, but also how to press more effectively. And if you notice those moments when we actually did decide in the first half, we actually won the ball higher up. So talked about that, but I said, at the end of the day, this wasn't tactics. It was more drive, more conviction, more belief, and that was it. Like that, and you saw it in the second half. So they couldn't get out of their half consistently, because of the pressure that we put on. So that was kind of the main message, and the good news is they responded.
And my last question will be, of course, I think that was going to stole all the headlines. Maggie, you talked a lot of praise about her in preseason, not coming into a sub, getting her first goal at her first professional debut. How do you say how much she impacted the team coming in?
Yeah, look, Maggie has a really unique skill set. If you just watch her ability to cover ground over distances is very impressive. And the thing with her, she could play so many different positions. And so right now we kind of have her in the sixth spot, but she could play a lot of different roles. So look, I think her career is very bright, and we're thrilled to have her with us. And yeah, going to keep growing her confidence and minutes and all that, and we'll see where things go, but very, very pleased for her.
We'll go with Rudy. If you guys have a question on Zoom, please raise your hand. We'll get to you here shortly.
Hey, Coach. Obviously a top loss, as you mentioned, but I just want to, take your evaluation of the team's defensive performance against such a obviously highly regarded Washington attacking team.
Yeah, I mean, with all due respect, I think the first goal kind of comes a little bit against the run of play. We have 2v2 in the box. We don't organize it very well, and that's just a very simple thing. We've been going over box defending, so for me, that's just a moment in the game where we have to be sharper. And if you look at the second goal, I'm not going to make comments about calls, this, that, and the other, but a shot is taken and there's no follow-up, there's no rebound. So it's not, for me, it's not this, amazing outmatched tactical battle. That's just lack of concentration. Simple as that.
And my follow-up would be Delaney. She played about 60 minutes, but she played very well. Just your evaluation on her game as well. On the 60 minutes.
She's a great player. She makes us tick, with how we want to play. I think she's a huge role for us. I think as she continues evolving and playing the way we want to play, I think she's going to be very impactful for us. So yeah, was very pleased with her. Thank you.
Anything else in the room before we go to Zoom? Nope. Nobody on Zoom? Okay, we'll go to Zoom here. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Coach. How are you? It's Brad from W Sports Nation. Want you to speak of the play of Yasmin tonight. Everyone was kind of excited for her debut.
I think I caught that about Yasmin in her debut, right?
Yes.
Yeah, look, Yas, I mean, if you looked at it, she played a couple different roles for us in today's game. She could play so many different spots. She's versatile. I think she's someone, as we continue getting a rhythm, she'll really start getting into a flow and really having an impact for us. didn't really get her opportunities in behind the line as much as I would have liked. So definitely have to look back at that. But yeah, no, very pleased with what she gave. And she, every time she got the ball and around the box, like you were holding your breath for something special. So yeah, very, very pleased with her.
Anything else before we close here?
Oh, can I jump on?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, hi Fabrice. I maybe missed just the very beginning of the call, so apologies if you already answered it, but I wanted to hear more about your first night as a head coach, kind of what was going through your mind as the game kicked off, as you were making those decisions at halftime, as you were giving your first pre-match talk, your first halftime talk. Kind of tell me through your first night as a head coach.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I think one of the first things we talked about in pregame is kind of having a shift in mentality in terms of what we believe of ourselves. And, I put an image of our temperature, and just kind of seeing, okay, well, what does that feel? What does that feel like when teams come in here? And obviously it's like, you don't want to play against the Houston Dash because of the heat, but it's like, how do we make the opponent feel that more with how we play? And so that was kind of the main message for us is, okay, how do you start implementing our game in terms of that way? In terms of the sub, we already had an idea of who we thought could come in and change the game. So, I was pleased with those guys who came off the bench. And then halftime, honestly, at the end of the day, you got to coach what you see. So I don't think there was anything. I just spoke from the conviction that we saw as a staff. We all came together, put our notes together, and that's kind of what came. But yeah, I mean, felt fine. Disappointed, that's all. So, I mean, I'm optimistic but disappointed. So that's what I would say there.
Thanks, Coach. Unlucky tonight.
Okay, we'll close with that one. Fabrice, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.